earlier today, Anti-Trekker put out a video basically calling out the Fandom Menace, certain parts of it. Most notably Anna, for apparently kind of not quite getting the point of the lower decks, that this isn't the Enterprise, and the Enterprise are not made populated of all perfect people. You know, the Enterprise has the best of the best. The rest of Starfleet, not so much. Okay, so according to kind of undeify, Starfleet personnel a little bit, there are some crackpots in there. Remember, and we have several episodes to quote of the various crackpots, even going back to the original series. So it's kind of a let's not get carried away here, Anna. We love you, but you're not quite right here. But the big one. The big shot across the bow was towards Doomcock, and regarding, this is a betrayal of Roddenberry's vision, and saying Roddenberry had no vision. His vision was dollar signs. Okay. To be fair to Gene, it's, and over the years, I think I got a pretty good idea of how Gene's mind operated, so that's why I think I usually get away with this is not what Gene would want, but this is what he would. The highly vaulted Roddenberry vision, he had a bit of a thing here, even going back when they put together the original series, that Earth had, by this point, solved the issues that were facing people today, or of the day. Nobody was hungry anymore. They figured it out, and just partially as a storytelling convenience, though. So they weren't dealing with, at the time, the big issues, and we're talking 64, 65 when we starting this whole thing, where you're dealing with racial inequality and feminist, women's lib. Those are the two biggest, and the war was just starting, really, when the first pilot was made. But war in general, that's he wanted to make it because he do it like Jonathan Swift did, disguise it as weird people, with funny strings or whatever, and that way he can get slipped by the censors at the time, slipped by standards of practice, and suddenly realize you got a Vietnam War story analogy when no one was really allowed to do much of that. Certainly not against the war. Later in the decade, you get away with a few things here and there, but for the most part, no, please, we don't want this kind of controversy. We're trying to sell soap. Okay? So, but there were the bare bones there of it, and as the years went by and the Roddenberry mythos enlarged during this convention and lecture appearances, he started to add to it. But so by the time we get to Next Generation, he's got the whole thing: no more poverty, nobody's starving, all the kids can read, And it did get fleshed out here, but let's not totally throw him under the bus and say there was nothing there. He just wanted to make a buck. That's a large thing. Most of his career, he was struggling to make a buck. That's why I started doing the lectures in the first place, to make a buck, because he wasn't getting any money out of Paramount. Cause Paramount was still going with the original series still owes money. Which that little myth didn't get shattered until sometime in the mid '80s, shortly before Next Generation started, because finally, double team with Shatner's lawyer, and then they said, oh, never mind. Here I am. Here's your check, And everybody started getting some money again. One thing Roddenberry made a good comment: the real science fiction is in the accounting department at Paramount. But the other thing of, Roddenberry would have been an SJW. No, even Shatner came out and said, no, Roddenberry was a liberal leftist, but he was no SJW. He would not be one of those screeching, all kinds of things. He was far left, because even, I saw Major Barrett give the old joke, the only reason he voted for McGovern is because Mao Zedong couldn't run. But there are a few things that Roddenberry, that he would not have gone along with, the rioting and the burning and stuff, and he's still a very proud American, and some of his ideas, still kind of go on the right side of the ledger. So, but there was, during a story meeting for Next Generation, he started to ponder doing something that was really against canon, against what was established, and it's pointed out to him, and he just, said, allow me the consistency of my inconsistencies. It's his show. He felt he could do what he wanted. That was kind of the point of him getting the job. That he would be in charge. But the overall point is pretty clear in Andy Tucker's video. The Fandom Menace is starting to eat itself over Lower Decks. And it's kind of, his and my point and a few others. This one is not the hill you want to die on, guys. We still got bigger fights to go on. There's still Star Wars out there to try and straighten out. There's Doctor Who to deal with. And Star Trek itself is still in bad shape, but this show is not the one to go ballistic over. This is actually an attempt to try and straighten things out. If you guys would just take off the Kurtzman must die blinders long enough to look at it, okay? No, we're not saying it's the greatest thing ever, okay? We're not saying it's the greatest Trek or even all that great thing, but it is not. It's like Midnight's Edge's own video about what has been going on with CBS, Paramount, Kurtzman, and all that. They even said in there that they're sidelining Kurtzman as much as possible. And like I've been saying, this is not a Kurtzman show. Now the stories are like Kurtzman. He doesn't understand the concept well enough to be able to do this. And my contention is that his lack of involvement in this show may very well be by CBS's edict. Say, no, you're not touching this thing. You'll get screen credit and you'll get a check, but you are not touching this thing. And CBS.com put out a video for one reason or another of Mike McMahon and his staff of writers playing Star Trek Mad Libs. Not a Kurtzman one among them. This is his team. These are the ones working the show. So again, let's focus our attention where it belongs. And let's quit screeching on our side about how horrible and disrespectful the thing is. Lower Decks. That the Cerritos is not the Enterprise. Okay, it's not even second rung. We're bottom of the of the fleet here. Okay. Yes, they all got to go through the academy. They're all qualified, Starfleet officers. But that doesn't mean they're the same level as the Enterprise crew. So in this one case here, guys, loosen up. Lighten up a bit. It's a cartoon. It's a sitcom. It's not meant to be a serious look into life on a starship. It's a rattle-trap old ship that is falling apart, which they'll get into at some point, I think. They're not attracting the best and the brightest. We need somebody to fill a uniform and run these gifts to to the Starlight homeworld or whatever. Because look, the Snyder Cut is done. The power struggle at the Lucasfilm is starting to go our way. Let's not blow it, because people are so incensed about Alex Kurtzman's very existence that we got to stop on each and everything that comes out. Like I bring up Doomcock's quote regarding Star Wars. At what point do we say, okay, thank you, nice effort, we'll reward you by watching it? Or by the same token, also the thing, if you don't like it, don't watch it. But if you do watch it, at least watch it. Because I've seen videos from other people. They clearly didn't want to watch it in the first place. They don't they don't care enough to even get the names right. Or you mean, somehow this happens. No, somehow. Don't give me that somehow this happens. Go back and watch the damn thing again. Like I'm getting right now. I'm hung up on Rob's little rant about when the last episode when Mariner's doing her guitar solo in the bar and it's heard all over the ship. In which case they do something about the soundproofing of that place. But the Klingon, they're talking to a Klingon on a bird of prey on the bridge, and why are you mocking us with this intense bass? And Rob goes off on this wall-eyed fit about, it's smart, get sound in space. And now, Rob, there's an open comm channel. That's how they're hearing it, okay? There's no science violation here. And they said, if that's kind of thing, if you can't even pay attention enough to the episode to catch something obvious like that, you're not giving an honest review. You're not doing. Don't watch it. Mecca hates cartoons in general. She hates the kind of Rick and Morty type humor anyway. Or, like I said, really, it's more of Venture Brothers. She hates that too. So quit torturing the audience and doing reviews and stuff you hate already anyway. Yeah? It's like asking her to do a review of The Dark Knight Returns. She doesn't like comic books. She doesn't, I'm trying to think of something that, be like ask me to review something I despise, kind of like a rap album or whatever. So, we need to get our stuff together here, okay? This is getting very, very stupid. And I think it should be taken note here that, another thing, a little accusation by Mecca that anybody who likes this show thinks black people you're accusing me of being a racist? You're going to accuse Stuart Foley over Checkyards or Samuel of being racist because they kind of like this show? You're going to accuse Eddie Trekker of being a racist? A little different when you actually put names to this thing. It's because also the second you go, well, not you and not you. Well, then if it's not these 3 or 4 people, then why is it anybody? This kind of goes in the thing. I think not only we're starting to condemn anything that Kurtzman, writes out as evil and horrible, even if it's down to a postcard. I think maybe also might want to consider the possibility that there is no agenda with this show. Okay. Now that's more of a victim of the fact that we've got everything on the world has been coming out with some kind of agenda. It's like so we're getting as bad as the other side, where they're seeing agendas everywhere, and it's like, no, there's nothing here. What the hell's are you blind? You're seeing too much here, take a step back. Sometimes a cartoon's just a cartoon. But that'll do it for now, I think. PayPal, Patreon, subscribe, start down below, and we will talk at you later.